is up, everybody? LSU Odyssey live here, live on the drive. Going to pick up my son, Sage, from my parents. He stayed the night over there. And so I'm going to go pick him up. Nice Sunday today. We could have just gone on the live stream, but because I was starting the drive, I just quickly pushed on the phone and the camera, so apologies for that. But we wanted to discuss the fact that LSU, this team, we've talked about it in the last few videos about championships and the use of the C word by all these guys, Brian Kelly and everybody on this team. Championships, everywhere at SEC Media Days. And that is exactly what you want as a Tigers fan. You want that type of ambition. You want that type of energy. At the same time, we have heard that for a few years under Brian Kelly. And there was a season where it was possible in 2023. In 2024, last year, there was it's actually insane that we didn't make the college football playoff when you look back at it. Losing to a 4-5 Florida team, starting DJ Lagway, and they outplay everybody for LSU, and we lose a really bad game to Florida. And that basically knocks us out of the playoff, even after we got destroyed at home by Alabama. Even after getting completely erased with our halftime lead over A&M in that second half. Like, even after those two losses and losing another opener against USC, LSU with 3 losses still could have made the college football playoff if we had just beaten Florida. So you had 4 really ugly losses that season and last year. Games that were so winnable. And then in 2023, you saw the same types of things. But I will say this. Brian Kelly and his staff did not have this kind of roster to work with. No, I don't think everything is going to be 100% perfect 2019 2.0 type of stuff. That would be amazing. And the fact that this team is actually stunningly capable of getting to that realm, that 2019, 2023 type of offensive realm, is incredible. And the reason why we're talking about it, that it's possible, the reason that we're comfortable right now with them actually using the championship word while there's so much pressure on Brian Kelly and this staff, Brian Kelly and this team to deliver. After 4 years at LSU, year 4, you've got to deliver. So much money invested. You've gotten all the right pieces. You've got to deliver. Well, I think they have every right to say it because of the way that the defense is trending in the right direction. The way that special teams, you seem to got that locked down with a bunch of really good kickers, really good punters, really good battery there that not a lot of people are talking about, but guys that will soon be up there in the national rankings. And Aaron Burrell already was as a freshman, but you'll see that even more this year. Just incredible from him. Damian Ramos, he's known to have a few get blocked, but that's not completely on him as much as the protections. We should see the best from Damian Ramos once again. Automatic in the PATs, automatic from the mid-range, can hit them from 50+, can be clutch. But when you do get to the 50+ range, that is where the inconsistency begins to show. He is not that long-range type of kicker. But if you're trying to settle for 50-yard field goals to win you a national championship, you might as well go play for Michigan, You might as well be a Michigan fan or change the colors to maize and blue, because LSU, we go for the wins. We go for the touchdowns. And so I'm just saying special teams trending in the right direction under Amon Anand, though. And hopefully that's another guy who can stay for a while and provide some type of coaching consistency to that special teams phase of LSU. But I think because you have those two phases are trending in the right direction, especially the defense, you've got a lot of strong pieces defensively. Harold Perkins could be like either a strong contributing force that helps unleash like Whit Weeks to the ultimate best, Butkus award-winning best, or it could be like Harold Perkins playing at the Star turns him into the fullest realized full version of Harold Perkins, the absolute footballing assassin that we know and love to be. A mixture of the best of his freshman season, rushing off the edge, just attacking the backfield at will, and then still pulling off big plays like getting interceptions and stripping the ball, forcing fumbles, but also being a sack man and really destroying quarterbacks and bringing fear into quarterbacks. You lost that over the last few years. Can you get it back? Do you need to get it back? How can you utilize Perkins to really just get the best out of the defense? Does that mean Perkins individually going off and racking up the sacks? Or will the defense suffer if you use Perkins in that way? Maybe you're going to have to use Whit Weeks in that way while you use Perkins sometimes in coverage and things like that. However, whatever it takes to make the defense even just, allow 3-4 fewer points per game than last year, you're in that realm of winning a national championship with this offense. The offense you think you should have. Once again, you think you should have. But the reason we're so comfortable saying championships is because you look at this roster, and I know a lot of people are saying, well, there's a lot of transfers. I don't know what we're going to get. And I got to say, I'm kind of bullish on these transfers because, yes, some of them did it in lower leagues or whatever, but you look at the production, it's outrageous. I mean, A.J. Halsey had like 30 more tackles than our best safety last year pulled off. And he's coming in to be our new safety. He had 30 more tackles. You had 30 stops at the right moments. That could completely win or lose a game for you. And you add a difference maker like that to your roster. I mean, there is just, everywhere you look, LSU is loaded with talent. I mean, we didn't even talk about Jordan Gilbert, someone who started most of, if not, I think every game. Maybe he sat out like one game or something with that shoulder injury, but played on a shoulder injury for most of the season last year. Because he got that shoulder injury very early in that season. I'm trying to think, it may have been even in the USC game. Seriously. And aggravated it a few times still. We had to keep playing him, I guess, because he was the best option. I disagree with that. We should have played someone who's actually healthy. Because there were games he could not even make a tackle because of that shoulder. But once again, that's a player who was incredible for A&M, started in the SEC, had a, somewhat solid, okay year for us, where he showed some signs of development, but he could pop in a major way. He's another guy that really has a make or break moment here, where you either have to make it now or you're going to stay at LSU maybe another year or even two to try and get your college resume together for the NFL draft. That is how big of a deal this season is for so many players across the board. Brian Kelly has to prove it or be on the hot seat once again from week one. From week one, right out of the gates against Clemson, is a face the nation type of a moment. Week one against Clemson, Dabo Swinney and his best Clemson team since, they went to a national championship and got their ass kicked by LSU. And Trevor Lawrence... Actually, no, sorry, Trevor Lawrence stayed another year, didn't he? Yeah, I'm trying to think if they went to, like, the Final Four, or what they did with that last year with Trevor Lawrence. But since Trevor Lawrence left campus, this is the best Clemson team. Right? Okay. And they're still beatable. But it's about that defensive line for Clemson. It's about the defensive front. If they can cause havoc on our offensive line, which is still the main question mark of this team, and it will continue to be maybe until, like, we pass that Clemson and Florida week 1 through 3 test. I think it won't even be until week 4, week 5 that it's like, okay, our offensive line is this. These are our starters. Like, I think none of us can really say with certainty, even whatever we see in fall camp, they're going to still, I think, be experimenting and mixing and matching. I think they have a knowledge of what they want from that offensive line and who should be there. But I think there's a few positions that are still very much up for grabs. So, there's a few questions here for LSU. There's still the defensive worries about stopping a running quarterback, which just inexplicably still continues to happen. There's questions about from outside of LSU, not within LSU, but outside of LSU, questions about Nussmeier taking that next step. Evidently, he's not good enough to be first-team All-SEC, which is just ridiculous and a complete joke. But I think when you look at the overall picture here, this is a team that's more than deserving, more than maybe not earned, but more than deserving of saying, hey, we're gunning for a championship, because you have the talent, you have the abilities, the depth on this roster. You should be. And anything less, frankly, this season, maybe not a bust, but unless you come dangerously close to winning a title, it could be a bust of a season, really, when you're looking at this team. You really got to cash in with this one, BK.